you ever stop to think if your words have, real power? Not just for chatting, but to actually shape someone's entire future? Well, today we're diving into a book that makes that exact claim. It argues that our words can be used to steer not just one person's life, but the futures of whole generations. Let's see how they make their case. Right out of the gate, the book hits you with this. It's from a guy who says a written blessing he got over a decade ago literally guided him through the hardest choices of his life. He actually calls himself living proof of this whole idea. That's a pretty bold way to start, right? So what exactly are they talking about when they say the power of a blessing? And that's really the whole idea here. The entire book is built on personal stories just like that one. The concept that a single, focused statement can have this massive, life-altering impact. The author isn't just saying, this is a nice thought, they're presenting it as a spiritual principle with real, tangible effects. So the core argument is kind of radical when you think about it. It's that words aren't just sound waves floating in the air. They're like vehicles. They can carry life or death, hope or despair. The big idea is that we can actually use them on purpose to release a positive, predetermined path into someone's future. And this is the key term they use for it, a blessing declaration. Now, this isn't your casual, hey, good luck, or hope it all works out. It's defined as something way more formal, a spoken release of what is believed to be God's specific plan for a person, and its authority is pulled directly from Scripture.
So what really separates this from just, wishing someone well? The book draws a really clear line in the sand, and it breaks it down by where it comes from, what gives it power, and what it's trying to do.
And here's where it all clicks into place. A good wish, according to the book, comes from our own personal feelings and hopes. But a blessing declaration, that's totally different. It's sourced from Scripture, it claims its authority comes from a divine promise, and its goal is to activate a purpose that, in this belief system, is already there, just waiting to be released.
Okay, so this verse right here is pretty much the cornerstone of the whole argument. The author brings it up again and again to establish this one foundational belief. Your tongue holds the power for both creation and destruction. The words we pick can either build someone up or tear them down. This idea that our words have these huge stakes is absolutely central to everything else in the book.
All right, so if words have the power to bring life, it stands to reason they also have the power to hold us back, to act as what the book calls curses. So this next part explores the idea that negative words can create these negative realities that we might actually need to intentionally undo.
And to really drive this point home, the book asks a fascinating question. What if the very word people use to identify you, your name, was basically a constant negative declaration being spoken over your life? The main example they use for this is the story of a guy named Jabez. His name literally meant sorrow or pain. I mean, just imagine that. Every single time someone said his name, hey sorrow, or what's up pain, they were speaking that negative identity over him. His own name was a kind of curse.
But here's the thing, Jabez wasn't having it. He didn't just accept this fate. The story says he took direct action. He didn't want to live under the weight of that curse-filled name. So he specifically asked God to reverse it, to break that connection with sorrow, and to release a blessing on him instead.
And here it is, the punchline of the story, which the book presents as the ultimate proof of concept. God granted his request. The whole narrative is framed as a clear cause and effect. Jabez spoke up to reverse a curse and ask for a blessing, and it directly changed his destiny. Okay, so that's the big picture idea and the biblical backstory. But how do you actually do this today, like in the real world? Well, the book lays out a really clear, step-by-step process for anyone who wants to try this in their own life. It's a 4-step method. First, the book says to try and get a sense of God's purpose for that person. Second, you go find a passage in Scripture that lines up with that purpose. Third, you kind of weave that Scripture into a personalized statement. And finally, you deliver it, either by speaking it out loud or writing it down for them. And the book is just packed with modern stories of how this gets used. There's a woman who keeps these declarations on little scrolls at her desk to share with students. The author's family members talk about how they feel supported when blessings are spoken over them. They're written inside birthday cards and used to help build confidence in kids. It's presented as a super practical everyday tool.
And now we get to the biggest claim in the entire book, the idea that's right there in the title. The argument isn't just that these declarations can change one person's life. It's that they can create a positive ripple effect that flows through an entire family line for generations.
So the ultimate goal here is to create a positive spiritual inheritance. The idea is that by speaking these blessings, one generation sets up a pattern of purpose in life that their kids and their grandkids can then step into, building on the foundation that those words created.
A scripture like this one from Psalms is used to really reinforce that idea, that it's a natural, intended thing for one generation to pass down declarations of truth and power to the next, creating this unbroken legacy.
To make this less abstract and more concrete, the book gives us a case study from the author's own family, tracking the impact of this practice across 3 distinct generations. And this is where you can really see that ripple effect they're talking about. The author's son shares his own story. He remembers getting these blessings when he was a kid and his family was going through a tough time. Now, as an adult, he says it's completely shaped how he prays for other people. He makes a conscious effort to speak words of life and positivity to his colleagues, directly continuing the pattern he learned.
At the end of the day, this book presents a very specific, faith-based way of looking at the power of words. But it really leaves all of us with a much bigger question to think about. Whether you see it as a spiritual act or a psychological one, it kind of forces you to ask, what is the real impact of the words we speak every single day, and what kind of legacies are we creating with them?